The Springtide event is now live, so you can start the quest chain for the Golden Claws weapon, which is a set of strikers very similar to the Silver Sword. It's going to be grindy, just like the Silver Sword, hopefully not as grindy. Now, all the information was out at the time of recording this video, so some of this is going to be a little bit of speculation, and some of it's going to be some theory crafting about what we think it should be or could be based off of some hints they may be dropped about the weapon. Now, this build is going to be set up specifically to help you guys farm through the XP as quickly as possible to get the quest chain done and get the fully mastered version of the Golden Claws. Now, I'm going to be basing this off of a Radiant weapon build because the only current weapon in the Striker's tree right now that is using the word claws in its name is the Alira weapon. So I think that might have been a hint at it being a Radiant weapon. Now, I don't have any cells that are going to be specific to the perks that may or may not be on the set of Strikers. So there's going to be some flexibility in this build. But I think this is a good starting point, and as you level up and unlock more of the perks on the weapon itself, you can kind of morph this over to something a little bit more specialized. Now, I will have a build video for the weapon itself once it's live and all the speculation is out of the way and we know exactly what it's going to be. But this should get you guys started and hitting the ground running until we know exactly what we're working with. So first up, if you didn't read the patch notes, to start the quest chain, you're going to walk up here and talk to Lady Luck. She's going to give you the starting of the quest chain. Now let's talk about the build for getting that XP and getting this quest chain done. Now I am using Chronoforce Strikers for this as a placeholder, but I don't have anything bonded to it. Hopefully it's a Radiant weapon. If not, switch this out, but we're not using anything specific to this in this build. So I'm going to drop a +3 endurance and a +3 pulse in the weapon. For the special, we're going to be using Titan's Crash. For the mod, we're going to be using Echo Brace Driver. Now, to get through the behemoths as quickly as possible to get that XP, we're going with Revenant. For the lantern, we're going with the Skarn's Defiance for the shields to help with surviving while using Revenant. And in case the weapon has any extra HP on it, like the Silver Sword did, Revenant's going to be a really good Omni cell in that regard. Then for the cell in here, we're going to be using the reuse cell to get a little extra attack speed on part breaks. Now for the helmet, we're going with Tragic Echo. This has +3 rage on it, which will trigger from your Omni cell Revenant. So that's a nice little damage bump there. Plus it gives us a brutality cell, which we're going to throw a +3 overpower in. Since you're going to be leveling at this stage, I'm assuming you're going to be getting a lot of staggers, so that overpower is going to be a good damage bonus while you're fighting leveling grade behemoths. For the jacket, we're going with Scravewing's jacket. This gives us +3 adrenaline, and we're going to pop another +3 adrenaline in there. This is going to give you a damage bonus based off the amount of stamina you have drained. And the Strikers are really good at draining stamina if you're not already familiar with the weapon. The light heavy heavy combo and the heavy 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 combo will both drain stamina pretty rapidly, so adrenaline has a really good uptime on Strikers. For the gloves, we're going with Fiery Gauntlets. This gives us +3 endurance, and we're going to pop a +3 pulse cell in there. And then for the boots, we're going with Thrax's Guile. This is going to give us +3 cunning, and we're throwing another +3 cunning cell on there. For the tonics, I would recommend the Blitz tonic, Frenzy tonic, and the Ether Drive tonic. The Ether Drive mostly to keep your shields up in tighter situations where you need more recovery while using Revenant. The Frenzy tonic for the damage, and the Blitz for the attack speed. Now, if you were going to switch one of these out, I would put the Assault tonic in for the extra stagger damage, which would play really well with this build if you don't want to use one of these tonics. All right, for the perk breakdown, first up, Adrenaline gives you 3% more damage for every 10 stamina you're missing. This plays really well with endurance and really well with Strikers in general because it's the high stamina drain weapon. As long as you open with your light heavy heavy combo and go into your heavy combo after that, it will drain your stamina very effectively. And since you're going to be leveling at this point in time, you're probably going to be doing a lot of dodging, especially when running Revenant, which will keep your stamina nice and low and keep this bonus very high. Then we've got +6 Cunning. This is going to give you 10% critical strike chance and 30% critical strike damage. With the Strikers being a fast attacking weapon, you should be critting relatively often. +6 Endurance, giving you another 100 stamina, more stamina to drain to boost up that adrenaline. +6 Pulse, of course, this plays really well with Cunning. This is going to give you another 15% critical strike damage and guarantee the 5th hit of your weapon is a critical strike. This plays really well with Cunning and also with the high attack speed of the Striker's second combo. We're going to pop a +3 overpower in here, which is going to give you 20% more damage versus staggered behemoths. If you're unfamiliar with strikers, they tend to do a lot of staggered damage, so you should have a pretty good uptime on overpower. Nice little damage bonus for while you're leveling up. +3 rage. Once every 30 seconds when you take damage, you deal 20% more damage for 15 seconds. Now, this is going to give you a 50% uptime if you're getting hit every 15 seconds. That's okay because we're really only going to be activating this when we get hit or we use Revenant, and hopefully we're not getting hit too much while we're leveling up, guys. +3 reuse. When you break or assisted in breaking apart, you have a 30% chance to grant all allies 20% attack speed for 30 seconds. And if that fails, you get 10% attack speed for just yourself. I really like this for a throw and sell in the lantern when you're not really sure which direction you're going with the build. Now, when you get to Blaze Works while you're leveling or fighting a lot of fire behemoths, you can switch this out for Molten for the extra fire protection, which I would definitely recommend when playing Revenant. But since we're only going with one lantern cell in this because we don't really know what we're getting on the weapon yet, I feel like this is going to be the best bang for your buck outside of fire behemoth fights when you switch it out for Molten. This should be a really good baseline build for anybody new to strikers. I know there's going to be a lot of players picking up strikers for the first time because they want to get that limited time weapon just in case they decide to play strikers down the road. So this should be a really good starting point, and I will get an updated version of this build when I know exactly what we're dealing with for the Golden Claw weapon, but I think this should give you guys a good starting point for now. And if you guys are looking to get your heroic escalation done, I'm leaving a video right here for you guys with information about the Frost escalation talent tree, because Frost is the heroic escalation this week and is launching at the same time as the Springtide event. And I'll see you guys in the next video.